Okay, opened up with the webcam only. Don't do that much. Let's see. All right. Um, welcome. Bitcoin down. I told you. I don't know what to say. I very rarely feel happy with myself, but I'm so happy with myself. I just can't contain myself anymore. Um, anyway, look where we are. We're on this big nasty bar of resistance. So I'm not saying that we're going to hold here at all. That's not what I'm saying. It's what I'm thinking. The reason that I'm thinking that is because I'm thinking that the amount of Bitcoin being traded versus the amount of Bitcoin being hodled is is very small. So, uh, anyways, we had like a 4% drop in Bitcoin since 3 days ago, something like that. 4% drop. Yeah, so we had a 4% drop. So that translated very heavily into other coins, right? So we saw like a 6% there. BNB, we saw another 6%. Cake, which I told you, I got out here. Look at that. I wasn't even looking at what price I got out on. I got out at 927 and it's now 747. I am so tempted to take 25% of my cake trading portfolio, so to speak, or my cake trading account, and put it into my side cake account and just let it compile. Let it auto compound. See if Einstein is right about the miracle of auto compounding. Um, Actually, Einstein was right about the miracle of auto compounding. You should be putting stuff into shit that auto compounds and leaving it there forever. Cake. Could we see $5 cake again? If we see $5 cake, I don't think we're going to see $5 cake right away. I think if we're lucky, we're seeing our sideways movement on a very large scale. So let's go back to BTC. Let's straighten this out. So what we still have, and let's just lengthen this out as long as and as wide as possible. So we have that for a channel. So keep that in mind. I don't think right now is really the time to buy. I'm not going to buy in yet. I'm not going to buy in on cake yet. I'm going to give the week a little. We could have a weird weekend where we go a little bit sideways here for a couple days. Thursday, Friday, it goes back up to our TEMAs, right? So this is like a big test, but I do see very, very sideways, right? And if we even go down to a much smaller scale, we can just hook that up right there. And this is the sideways that I'm hoping for, right? In there. That's the sideways that I'm looking to make profit in the altcoins, right? So keep that in mind. All right, now let's back out to the month because the month is always depressing. But we don't look at the month every day. But we got to look at the month. We got to look at multiple time scales, right? So, yeah, where did I draw that? That sideways, right? We could tighten that up, that sideways right there, and see where that falls on the day. And that's beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful channel. It's right here where that major support was. And yeah, that channel I might leave up. All right. So, well, hey, we looked at the month. We looked at the month to look at this RSI. This RSI is as low as it could be. It could go sideways. Now, I've been predicting that we're going to have like 5 or 6 months of sideways. So let's just do that again so that we can ground ourselves in reality here. We're going to call this the bottom. Well, shit, hold on. Let's first just measure this one because we're going to use this. It's not the greatest idea, but 365 days. You're not going to like that date. That's a year out. That's February. That's February. So keep that in mind, right? If you're expecting it to go boom, you may be waiting till February. If you want to hodl, I fully suggest hodling. I've got stuff that I'm hodling, and I should have used more of that strategy in 2018. I should have held on to a lot more stuff in 2018 and hodled. I would have been much better off. Trust me. So, but this is trading, right? And so now if we go down to the week, we like that. That looks like a fairly decent channel that we can live with. And we can go a little bit below, right? Because we did in the past. But this is going to be our major trading area. I'm out. I am completely out. All trades are back into cash, right? So if it goes lower, there's nothing for me to do. You have to make your own decisions. If you're stuck with something right now, if you're going to push it aside and hodl it, which might be the best thing for you to do, and just look at it in 4 years, unless it's a really shit coin, right? Or I can't make that decision for you, right? That's something that you have to make for yourself. I am already out of my trades. So, and we'll look at one of my failed trades. Well, my only failed trade, because I didn't have any. I just had one failed trade. I had cake, and then I had another failed trade. But we'll look at that in a minute. But this is right here. This is where I am going to start looking for a bounce. The RSI is low. It could go a lot lower. We could find support again here on the 100, on this yellow 100 TEMA. And that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for support here, but I might not see a bounce for 1 to 2 weeks. So keep that in mind. And it could go, well, right now we're at 38. So it could go as low as 34K. According to the weekly here. That's not bad. That's not really bad. But this gives us a huge window to trade in here. This almost gives us enough room to play the TD sequential, right? So if we have a 2 develop at a bottom, we buy, and as soon as we start getting to the top, we start thinking about selling out, right? And the same thing if you're shorting. I don't short. I don't make enough money to short or use leverage, but stop limits. It's all about stop limits, right? If you're listening to anything that I say, it's better to get stopped out than to be forced into a hodl position. If this is your trading account, if you have a hodl account, that's for hodling, right? And I highly suggest that everybody do that. They divide what they're doing and they keep their trading accounts small. until you know what you're doing. Do not start off with 10,000. Do not start off with 5,000 or 2,000. Start off with something very small as your trading account. Divide that up into different trades, and you're going to lose money, and that's the cost of tuition. But at least you'll be losing money and hopefully learning about stop limits first. You can go get any book on eBay. You can go get the 30-day unlimited book club on eBay, and you can read 2 or 3 books, and you'll be a better trader than me, right? All right, enough preaching. So Bitcoin, that's where we're standing. I'm hoping for support here, right, based on the week. But there might not be any there whatsoever, and we could just blow through this in the middle of the night, right? And that's what I would think is going to happen, is that we could see another 2 to 3% in Bitcoin. Easily we could wake up tomorrow and it could be 36. So I don't have any money in the game right now. I'm not putting any money on it going down. So that's where we're at. That's what we're looking at. We look at Ethereum, and I'm going to get rid of this triangle, right? That served its purpose. And we're seeing that kind of dip down, right? So now I'm looking for, I'm looking for it to get closer to this line of support right here. And let's just see what kind of a percentage we're looking at. 23% total. I would say 10%, right? And if we were to go to the week, we really don't have a channel to draw on the week. If we go to the day, we really don't have a channel to draw or anything like that. So all we have is our RSI. Our RSI for the day is low, and it's squiggling. So I would expect some sideways action here. I would be looking for a dip to see if we to bet if we're gonna try and go after this line here. So if we don't break, here we go. If we don't break 25, if we don't get anywhere near going low as 25, I see another run up against these TEMAs, right? And if we have another run up against these TEMAs, we could easily see at the bare minimum 11%. And inside of that 11%, if we're looking at this on the 4 hour or the 1 hour and we're placing our trades there, we may be able to squeak out 5 to 8% of profit, right? However, if it breaks the 200 TEMA and goes above that, then we're easily looking at 25%. And if we stay in that trade for a couple days, right, like a week, we may see something like let's say 15 to 20% based on when we sell and when we buy in, right? Because we're not buying at the bare bottom. We're trying to make sure that we've got enough momentum that it's an actual dip, right? And if we have enough momentum that it's an actual dip, we're placing a bet, and we're trying to do an educated guess on whether or not it's going to go up or down. But that's what I'm looking at. And if I look at BNB, I'm seeing the exact same thing. The RSI is already low. We could go a little sideways for a few days into the weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we could see a bump in buying. Same thing. If we go past 371 on BNB, then we are probably going to be in trouble with a lot of altcoins. Cake being one of the major ones here. And like I said, best thing I could do was to get out of Cake. I could have gotten a little more percentage here. Let's not use that. I mean, because there was profit in there that I missed out on. There's a lot of profit. For instance, 5% at the top. But even more than that, on the day, there's another 3% on the bottom, right? So when I'm looking at these shifts, I'm looking for, if I see 10%, I'm thinking maybe I can get 4 to 5. If I'm seeing 20%, I'm thinking maybe I can get 10 to 15. And that's just the reality of trading like this. So keep that in mind, guys. It's better for your trading account to be in cash. It just is. It's better for you to side on the air of caution and use your stop limits and get out. I can't tell you how much money it cost me to learn that in 2000, and then in 2017 and 2018. And I've even lost money last year, right? Because I was running without stop limits on stuff because it was a bull run. Why wouldn't you, right? But stop limits, very, very important. I'm probably going to remove this soon. Nothing else I want to talk about except for I did go into band. And what I did was right here on the 4-hour, I put in a buy order. And it hit my buy order 8 hours later. But it then hit my stop limit another 8 hours later. So I was out of ball, and I think I lost like $9, not counting the fee, right? Because I think maybe the fee was $1 or something. I have no idea. I don't pay attention to fees. But there you go. That's a failed trade right there. I thought I might be able to catch it in, and it would be going up, and it would make another run for this. At the time, I believe some of the other things were kind of getting close to doing that, but nope. So that's it. All right, stop limits, stop limits, stop limits. That's how you win this game. Simple as that. I'm going to be looking for dips. I'm also going to be playing Pancake Swap tonight for a very long time and answering any questions about that. All right. Hopefully everybody's had a good weekend, and that's all I have. Have a good week. Have a good